This is ASS Breaking News.
Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another ASS exclusive. I'm your anchorman, Assman bin Licken. Brock Jerkson is out on assignment looking for the shocker. With me here today is a very special guest, a Washington Post intern whose first day was a faithful day of the retweet. Washington Post intern, thank you very much for joining us today. I know it must be hard.
So many of them. We're overrun.
Oh, overrun. I mean, wasn't it just a retweet of a joke?
The screaming. I can't stop thinking. The screams, they can't.
I know, I understand. Thank you, and thank you again for joining us. I know it must be hard. I know the trauma you must be facing, but walk us through what happened after one of the Washington Post journalists retweeted a sexist joke. Mind you, a joke so horrible I'm not allowed to repeat on the show on this segment right now. But walk us through that day. What happened? What were you doing? What was going on?
It wasn't even my first day yet. It was a Monday. I woke up feeling so rejuvenated and inspired. Oh God, I can't do this.
I understand it must be hard. I understand it must be hard, but for truth, for people to understand what has happened, and also I think for you to be able to have some of it lifted off of your shoulders. In the newsroom, how was the environment after the retweet? Was there any laughing? Did the laughing slowly turn into yelling? Did you hear screeching?
Honestly, I can't even tell the difference anymore between laughing and screaming. It all sounds the same. It's only Wednesday.
So we know Felicia. Felicia was the one who was up in arms and has now taken control over the newsrooms. How has your interactions been with her?
Who?
Felicia.
Felicia who?
Somanez.
What is that, like someone is supposed to know?
Well, that's the one who went up in arms after the retweet from Dave on the joke.
That's what this is all about?
Well, yeah. Do you remember the joke?
I thought this was all because of Taylor Lorenz.
No, Taylor Lorenz actually doesn't have anything to do with what was going on in Washington Post. Funny enough, even though she loves the attention and doing this. No, this was Felicia Somanez, a woman who we can really tell does not get her ass eaten and has something stuck up it, has turned Washington Post into a war zone over a retweet of a joke.
Swear to God, I thought it was about Taylor Lorenz.
Well, I mean, I know she's gotten an allyship with Candace.
Candace who?
Candace. Dick fit in your mouth?
Very little detail at this point, Kate, other than to say this man is he's an adult man from California. We don't yet know what the nature of the threat was. We don't know what language the threat was or what kind of weapon this man might have had, if he had one at all.
Biden had a vision. He has talked about that vision. No. But maybe
you ain't saying he was talking the other day.
Allah Akbar! Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Habibis. And welcome to another HPH. I know it's been a while since we've last had one of these. I don't know where Siraj went, but I think he's going to go. Oh, there he is. There he is.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Habibis.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
كيفك؟
الحمد لله كيفك أنت يا حبيبي؟
كويس الحمد لله. Welcome, Habibis. I'm Siraj Hashmi.
And I'm Jay Kobbe.
We're the Habibi Bros. Welcome to another episode of Habibi Power Hour. We are back in full studio and all that good shit.
Hell yeah. I missed you, Habibi.
I miss you too, Habibi. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've been on time for the show and just overall present.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think we were like 2 minutes late.
I would argue yes.
I don't think maybe, but I don't think we were really 2 minutes late. I think we're actually pretty on time. I think we are. Am I coming in good, Habibis? Am I coming in too loud?
Maybe.
Do you hear the gagging?
I did hear the gagging.
Perfect. Okay, because real men gag. I mean,
it's true. It's true. You're looking clean and cut. Did you trim the beard a little bit? I
did a little bit. I went just a little bit. It was getting a little bit much, but also I had where is it? There's a patch, a bold patch over here that I'm trying to grow out with some Rogaine. And as you can see, Rogaine really does a lot for me. So, I mean, it failed up here. It might help over here. So we're going to see what's going to happen. So because of that,
before we get into the episode that is tonight, hit that like and subscribe button, Habibis. Help support us. We rely on the Habibis to sustain us and allow us to keep this movement going. And if you really like our stuff even further, check out our website, habibibros.us, in the description below. We got the super chat here from Rico Roca. Oh God, that was Janice. Go Celtics. Yes, go Celtics. Fuzzy says, Siraj, almost tip off. Did you poop yourself? Yes, and maybe no, depending on how the game goes tonight.
There's another game going on tonight. How does this stuff work? Why is it out of 7? I don't understand. Why do they have to do something? Is it just so they can get more viewerships and money out of people watching the games? Like, I don't understand.
Probably. I think it has a lot to do with having a game a game that's odd number that falls between 6 and 9, and 7 was what they came up with.
It would have been nice the other way around, but I still think it's like
very nice, yeah. So
it makes zero sense for them to have games like this.
Yeah, and Janice actually asking if I pooped today. I did poop. I pooped a number of times, and I do it.
Alhamdulillah.
Specifically for the
and
Celtics.
He'll do it again, and he'll do it again. He'll keep it going.
I will keep pooping my pants for the Celtics. I'll do it.
Yes. And to shift a little gears, our conversation on abortion.
The Washington Post, ladies and gentlemen.
This has been absolutely amazing. I know not a lot of people are extremely online, but I think for the most part, people who watch our show know what we're talking about when we say, "Holy fuck, Washington Post is a shit show."
It is more than just a shit show, Jay. It is. All right. Think of the most dysfunctional newsroom, and then think of it boiling out into the public, and then remembering that newsroom essentially 100% deserves it.
Well, especially as it is now. It's been tracking to that sort of environment and that level. I mean, the Washington Post has this, even if you hate them, they do have this reputation. and they have this reputation in the news world and in the journalism world. And when you see what is happening right now, it's a fucking embarrassment. It's a huge fucking embarrassment. Completely all disregard on, on levels of authority, disregard on discipline, disregard on anything. And even the discipline they did do was like way overboard for what happened. And let's get into it for the Habibis who don't know.
Right. Yeah. Let's get into it because this is actually pretty key to what actually happened. Let me, while you explain it, I'm going to go find the tweet that got him in trouble. Not even the tweet, but the retweet.
Yes. Okay. So what was hilarious is that Dave Weigel or Dave Weigel. Dave Wagyu. He
Wagyu.
Yeah,
He's a Wagyu steak, isn't he?
Well, I mean, he eats a lot of fucking cows, that's for sure. And I'm sorry for Fuzzy's mom if she's listening on the cow joke, but he retweeted a joke, and the tweet said, "If you don't have it up, you got it.
I got it right now.
It's so good. Every girl is bi. You just have to figure out if it's bipolar or sexual." And it's a good joke. It's fucking hilarious. It's a funny joke. And he retweets this, and the first thing that happens is that Felicia screenshots this this retweet and tweets out, "It is very nice to work in an environment that allows for this kind of retweeting," or some shit like that allows for this kind of, like, he didn't even fucking post it himself. He didn't make the joke. He just retweeted it. And they want to police the retweets, and then they want to police the likes. And to be honest, we are so far beyond that. It is way too late for this stupid shit to like police. I mean, journalists have embarrassed themselves on social media since the inception of fucking Twitter. They've embarrassed themselves on social media. They have allowed their biases to be shown. They have allowed to show themselves as activists. They allowed all this type of stuff. But where it draws the line and goes a little too far is retweeting fucking jokes. That's where it goes too far for this fucking industry. And it's comical.
All right. So I found the actual here. Felicia Sonmez. Felicia Sonmez tweeted out, "Fantastic to work at a news outlet where retweets like this are allowed." Retweets like this are allowed. And you saw the amount of engagement that got.
Right. And so she almost got ratioed.
Yeah,
the retweets
close to it. But Dave Weigel apologized for the retweet, said he unretweeted it, and then was suspended for a month without pay.
A month without pay.
For a month without pay. Hobby Cliff says, "I heard you on Red Caesar show. When is he calling in to dunk on you here too?" And then Happy Summer Siraj for Tottenham 5 Gooners.
I think Arsenal 4, Tottenham 5. Is that what he said? It was what he's saying?
I don't know. I don't know if he's dragging me or not. But either way, I'll take that as him dragging me. So Jay, what I was trying to say is that everything that happened because of this retweet is now basically blown up into a basically Pandora's box has been opened at the Washington Post. And need I remind you that when I actually joined Red Steez on his call-in earlier this week, we were specifically talking about the WAPO elementary school that is this food fight happening right now.
Right.
And I said on his show, and again, I was just calling in. I wasn't like a scheduled guest or anything like that. I literally just called into a show. If you remember back in 2018, Jay, this may be early on when we like shortly after we met, when we became friends. AOC had just been elected to Congress, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So this is fall of 2018, and Eddie Scarry, my colleague at the Washington Examiner at that time, basically tweeted out a photo of AOC, basically because like AOC had this like reputation of being someone who's like she didn't come from a family of means. She was she didn't have a whole lot of money. She was a bartender, and then here she was like a shocker victory, beating out like a higher ranking establishment Democrat in Joe Crowley in New York. And AOC like kind of talks about like how like she wasn't able to like afford many things. So Eddie Scarry, who now I didn't agree with his tweet, and I probably should have kept shit to myself, but obviously I regret obviously doing this, was basically making a subtweet of his tweet, because his tweet was basically about AOC talks about how like she can't afford things, and like that jacket and that handbag doesn't look like a girl who look like it for a girl who struggles. And basically everybody was dragging it. Everyone was ratioing him, even people within the Examiner newsroom. And this is the kind of when it was very difficult to kind of like get out of that. In terms like Eddie and I cleared the air. We were good after that. And I just told him I should have come to you about this, and that's my fault. Like, sorry, I fucked up. I should have told you to your face that I took issue with your tweet. Looking back on it now, amazing shit post actually. Like that's one of the things where like if I had the choice to do it all over again, I'd be like, oh, you have no idea like how bad it's going to get in terms of how insufferable AOC is about to become. So you should let this shit stand.
Yeah, and we're just finding out right now that you're coming out as Felicia Somenez.
Not entirely, because I didn't use Eddie by name, nor did I like
state. I'm really it's great working in the Examiner that allows tweets
I'm
like
really
this.
proud to work at the Examiner. I actually wasn't the one who got the most brunt for it, because there are other colleagues who went like ham on him publicly. So I was not the Felicia Sonmez in this case.
Right. But
it's one of those things where like when I went on Steez's call-in show, a lot of this has to do with journalists trying to like build themselves a brand. Felicia Sonmez in this case, she had already sued the Washington Post for sexual harassment. She lost that lawsuit. Right. She's still under contract, or at least I presume that she's still under contract, and she's trying to appeal it. I am not sure. I'm not 100% sure, Jay, essentially, if she's using this as a play to sort of get out. She's certainly making it
seem that way.
Impossible to work at the exam. Sorry, not the Examiner, the Washington Post. Also, I found out I'm a Washington Post writer. Shout out to Sarah Higdon.
Hey, there you go. Because she called you a Washington Post.
Yeah, I don't think
instead of Washington Examiner. It's more like you're the retarded stepchild than actually Washington Post. No knock on Washington Examiner, but when they have an editor like Seth for their magazine, there's some retards in management over there.
Yeah, don't get me started on that, Jay. Jesus.
But it's amazing. If I was Washington Post, and if I was like management there, I would do that. I'd just buy her out of her contract and tell her to fuck off. That's what I would do. I would definitely do that.
Like, Jay, I really wish I had known better back then, because I wouldn't have. If I had known that, like, back in 2018, that you never apologized to the mob, I would have totally just told Eddie, keep the tweet up. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, and keep it going. And especially because it's gotten engagement, even if it's hate, it's fine. Yeah. That's what you want, especially when you do a tweet like that, or you do a shit tweet like that, or if you're trying to make like cringy jokes or offensive jokes or jokes in general, that's what you want to do. And also,
Even
he's just stating a fact that he's posting on there. It's like, and I know we can all say, well, she worked really hard on blah blah blah, blah whatever, fuck you and fuck her, type of stuff. But also, like, this goes into the crux of it. You were a huge lib.
Me.
Yes.
Yes, I was, definitely.
And even though you're still a big lib now, you're not as big as you were. You've really
much bigger.
You've really pulled yourself back a little bit from there because you're really into that DC lib.
I wanted to fit in.
You did. And that's how everybody is. And whoever is making it out there is really kind of like that libbish fucking stuff. It's a shit environment over there in terms of.
I don't think people realize how toxic that city is until you leave it, and I'm very glad to be out of it. But yeah, I mean,
and now in Florida,
in that case, I didn't use my brain. I acted out on emotion, and that's nowhere. I mean, like, that's not. You cannot do that. You can't act out on emotion. Faye Bibi says, sorry, Faye Bibi, thank you for the super chat. Says, sorry, in my opinion, Weigel earned this karma. He supported Taylor Lorenz when she docks people. He's willing to throw others on the pyre to earn woke points. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Hey, we're not disagreeing at that point.
Absolutely not.
I think a lot of us are on board. Jay, I think you and I both agree that Faye has a very good point here. Because it's not about whether Weigel deserved it, because he has very much been a part of like cancel culture thing isn't real. Like, and while you could probably make the argument that he's not actually technically canceled, he was only suspended for a month. He hasn't been fired. Again, he has been fired by the Washington Post before, and then he was brought back on, but he was fired because of plagiarism before. So I just want to point out that, like, if you can come back from plagiarism, Weigel can come back from a quote unquote sexist retweet.
No, I think so too. But in more to Faye's point as well, is that a lot of these same people were calling others crazy for trying to call out the campus culture that we were seeing and seeing it bleed into the real world and in workplaces and in places that you're trying to, function and shit. You don't function this way. And also it's bleeding into their real work, and not just her and Dave's work, but everybody else in the Washington Post as well. So management has to get a hold onto this.
Yeah.
And nip it in the bud. And they trying to tiptoe around it. And then they post, and it was fucking idiotic what they did. They posted a memo. And then after the memo was posted, almost every Washington Post journalist retweeted it and tweeted almost the exact same thing. Like, I'm so honored to work here, and I love working with my colleagues. We love our colleagues, and all this type of bullshit that's here. And it was all fake.
It's just so clearly, Jay, it's just so clearly like a scripted play to try to get, the mob of people within the Washington Post sort of like to lower their arms. So,
and it didn't work. If the apology wasn't going to work from Dave directly, this type of bullshit isn't going to work for somebody like Felicia.
So kind of following up from that Steve's Calling episode, he put together a great show, and I really like his content in general. He's got a lot of good takes, especially about the media. And we'll probably try to get him back on the show at some point in time, inshallah. Hopefully for a free episode. I feel like
how do you love him?
I feel like Steve deserves a free episode from now on. But in terms of one thing that he did predict, in that he thinks that Dave Weigel is going to be fired. It's either that or he quits, because I don't know how you come back to the newsroom after that and try to. It's going to be like the Ilya Shapiro story. Ilya Shapiro was hired by Georgetown Law, was later put on administrative leave pretty much from out the gate, because obviously he's conservative and like the libs couldn't handle it. So they basically use they patrol like all of his tweets. And I can't even recall the exact tweet that got him in trouble with Georgetown Law. But basically what happened was they put him on administrative leave as they reviewed all his tweets. They found that he actually, I guess he like somehow won that conflict or confrontation, whatever the fuck it was. And he came back and he's like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm out. I quit.
Yeah, it's a resignation because also they tried to flip his apology as a him admitting he was wrong or racist. So
right,
so
that's literally all they try to do is like paint literally everyone as being racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, Islamophobic, everything, Jay.
Right.
Everything under the sun.
And if Dave had any self-respect, he wouldn't go back. Like if that was me and they told me I'm gone for a month without pay over this fucking shit after making me apologize, I would tell them to go fuck themselves and I would not work there. And then I'll go work at like fucking New York Times or I'll go work at the Atlantic or some shit and write a complete fucking article shitting on Washington Post and everybody that works there. Every management, burn that bridge to the fucking ground and tell them to go fuck themselves. That's exactly what I would do.
So Kate Hyde over on Rumble, our favorite Habibti.
Hey, Katie.
It's just the favorite Habibti of the Habibis. Says
specifically fuzzy.
Specifically fuzzy. Says, I love how Dave Weigel tweeted a joke that every day of this saga has proven to be more of a fact. Again, the joke is, and let me pull it up. Give me a sec. Well, my slow boomer ass gets this together. Every girl is bi. You just have to figure out if it's polar or sexual.
Which is really, and then you also had an addition to this. What was it?
Something that I said.
Mm-hmm. You said you texted it to me.
Oh,
yeah.
I put it on the thumbnail of this episode. It says every girl is bi, bipolar, bisexual, or a Biden simp. It's good.
It's
I had another
good.
one that because. All right, shout out to Abby Libby for basically trying to get this going because this actually probably applies to many of the Habibis here in the chat across all our platforms. But it seems as if that if I can share this for just one moment here, a new pride flag just dropped. Support your LGBTQIAFF community today. And it took me a second because that looks obviously like a Hang 10 logo. So I was like, is that the Hang 10 logo? So like, no, just like read it slowly. And my retarded ass couldn't figure it out until like, I was like, the FF. Yeah. I see. So
right up there with pedos.
All girls are into feet. You just have to figure out if it's a fetish or taller than 6.
That is true. That is absolutely true. But the funny thing is that women are short as fuck. So you can just tell them you're 6 foot. They won't know. You could be. I'm 5'4". No, wait. No, 5'4".
No, you're 4'9".
No, 5'4". Shut the fuck up. I'm 5'4". All right. My girlfriend is 5'1", and she thinks I'm 6 foot.
Oh, smart, Jay. But here's the reason why we actually decided to get back into the game tonight, Jay, and that is because a left-wing extremist was arrested outside the home of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh over the last 24 hours, specifically with the intention of killing him and then himself over the leaked Supreme Court opinion that would overturn Roe v. Wade, which would basically get rid of the federal, broad green light on abortion nationwide and would just delegate it to the states. So, Jay, what the fuck's going on here?
Well, exactly what the Democrats and people in the media wanted. They want pressure like this. You don't see anyone coming out and condemning this.
At what point are we gonna arrest the leaker at this point? No, I don't know. I don't even know if this is like a shit post right here. Could you like foreseeably say like, oh, the person who leaked the Supreme Court opinion inspired this type of assassination attempt, and therefore deserves to be held liable for?
I don't. The leaker wanted pressure, or I'm not sure. Like, I can't really say for the leaker of what he wanted or what he didn't want. What I can say is what Schumer
didn't want.
He or she, yes. Well, it was probably
or
he.
What
A
didn't want.
A woman doesn't have the balls to do some shit like this.
Don't forget, Jay. It is Pride Month. Don't be a bigot.
I apologize. So he, them, Z's, or they could have done it, but no. The intention I I put something like this on would be somebody like Schumer, would be somebody like Joy Reid, would be somebody like all of these people who are blasting the narrative that this is going to kill women, or this is going to kill everybody, or people are going to die, and this is taking women's rights away, and all of this type of stuff. And you had Schumer in 2020 when Kavanaugh was being sworn in, say like threaten Kavanaugh, threaten Gorsuch, threaten them on that they better do what he wants and the agenda that they want, or he's going to face a whirlwind of like hurt or shit coming his way.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the same thing over and over again. Like, you have the same people who want to whine about rhetoric from Tucker Carlson or rhetoric from Trump or rhetoric from all these people are silent over this. They haven't said anything. They haven't posted anything on New York Times. It's like the 6th or 12th story.
Yeah, let's look at this this quick CNN clip here. Did I even upload it? Of course I didn't upload it. I'm such an idiot. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. But yeah, this CNN thing is like fucking insane.
Let me upload it real quick. It's gonna take a second just for it.
No, it's fine. And also you had Jen Psaki encouraging more protests at the House instead of condemning it, instead of telling people to go home, instead of doing all of this stuff. This is what they want. They want this pressure. They want these type of situations to happen. They want you to protest. That's why they were encouraging the riots in 2020, for fuck's sake. They're not above this. This is what they want.
Basically this past week.
Yes, this is what they want. And for them to pearl clutch over January 6th and all this type of bullshit just goes to show that they're full of shit. It's all agenda based. It's all agenda based. They're not consistent.
All right. So here's a clip from CNN about the Kavanaugh would-be assassin.
Very little detail at this point, Kate, other than to say this man is he's an adult man from California. We don't yet know what the nature of the threat was. We don't know what language the threat was or what kind of weapon this man might have had, if he had one at all, because the information at this point is just so thin. But Kate, this certainly contributes to this overall threat landscape we've been talking a lot about. The major concern here with this abortion ruling from federal officials, and they've been sounding the alarm on this for about a month, is that Supreme Court justices will certainly be, potentially targeted by violent extremists who are angered over this pending ruling that is poised to strike down Roe v. Wade. This is an extremely passionate issue. There are emotions on both sides. Federal officials have made clear over and over they believe the risk truly comes from both sides of this abortion debate. So certainly this case, really solidifying what federal officials have been warning about. People are angry. They might seek to use the abortion ruling as a justification to cause violence. And that puts these Supreme Court justices, their staffs, and other members of the judiciary, especially the Supreme Court, at risk. Back to you.
Jay, the both siding of it
is insane.
Both sides are angry, Jay. Both sides are angry. We're not even sure if he had a weapon. He was passionate about that. This drives up a lot of people's passions. get the fuck out of here. I mean, this is the type of stuff that you get from like the fact that they're trying to justify and make it and dismiss it and make it look like it's not a big deal. It is not normal to try to assassinate a Supreme Court justice, people. It is not normal. It's not.
And you shouldn't normalize this type of shit. It's not even normal to be outside their homes protesting the way that they're doing. That's not normal. You know what else is not normal? Accusing him of being a rapist and a gang rapist and all that kind of stuff, and like throwing his name through the fucking mud. These things are not normal. And the people who wanted the norms back, we need the norms back. So vote for the people who are destroying the norms. Makes zero sense. Just because Trump says some shit you don't like, because he tweets some shit you don't like, now you want to go and vote for these people who are destroying the norms over and over again?
Now you're paying $7 a gallon for gas. You are your money cannot stretch you from paycheck to paycheck. You're behind on the rent. You're behind on all your bills. All over what? Some nice tweets and a president with an applesauce brain. I mean, people are like, Jay, the shit has already hit the fan. Okay. I will never dunk on another doomsday prepper ever again because they're all laughing at us now.
Right. I mean, and we are hearing it.
Not that I did a whole lot of dunking on doomsday preppers, but you get what I'm saying. Like, this is one of those things where you always looked at doomsday preppers a little bit weird because they're stocking up on shit. Now you're just feeling like, man, this is the fucking ant in the winter. And they're laying back.
They're laying back. They were the grasshoppers, wasn't it? Was it the grasshoppers or no?
Yeah, grasshopper.
Right. No, but what's really funny about this too is like you're saying that they were right and all this stuff. We're hearing it from the words of the people from the mouths of the people in this administration. We just had the state secretary saying that we need to make sure the economy is running on green energy, that we are pushing the economy to run on green. They're doing this on purpose. They're telling you they're doing this on purpose. They're telling you that, yes, you paying $7 a gallon on gas is what they want. While they're still like, how do you think she fucking goes from where she goes and speaks in front of Congress to back to her house? What does she use? If these people want to preach all of this shit, then practice it, but none of them do. None of them do.
Zero.
They all want you to have, you and your family are going to be forced to make these sacrifices. You're going to be forced to stretch your dollar, are going to be forced to feel the pains that are happening right now just so they can say that they're good people. Because it's not going to fix anything when it comes to the fucking environment.
Dan Wants Pizza says nothing is built, nothing is back, and nothing is better. Could have said it better myself. And here's the thing, Jay. There are so many. Look, we got this January 6th committee hearing coming up, which, by the way, Jay, I think we have like a very special announcement to make on that. And that is, if you don't want to watch the January 6th committee hearing on like a cable news network, Jay and I will be live Thursday night on the nicest day of the year. That's June 9th, the nicest. So you're going to have the nicest J6 committee hearing on 6/9 at 8 p.m. East, because that's apparently when it starts. So Jay, join us, join us, and hopefully we could get our queen Jennifer Rubin on.
Inshallah.
So we'll be providing live reaction analysis, particularly emphasis on the anal part of that.
That's the only way I do it. Anal.
And then of course, we'll have fun. We'll drink, make a drinking game out of it or something. I don't know. But it's one of those things, Jay.
I mean, if we do, we should honestly tonight and tomorrow we'll come up with a drinking game. Any of the Habibis watching with us, we got to do it. I got I got a whole lot of White Claws to finish, so I'll do it with White Claws so we don't kill ourselves completely.
Yeah, because we will probably. I mean,
yes,
being of our type, Jay, we'll probably kill ourselves. So
because we're gonna come up with good shit, like shit that Liz Cheney will say, shit that like Adam kisses ass, whatever the fuck his name is, would say, things like Schumer would say, like. We'll
Jay,
do some
I
good
just
stuff.
kind of want like someone to like keep a counter of like every time someone says on January 6th or something along the lines of saying on January 6th, like our democracy almost ended, like that level of hyperbole. I'm very excited.
Absolutely, that type of stuff, and then also comparing it to like 9/11. If they compare it to the Holocaust, you have to finish 3 drinks.
Yeah. Frostbite says the Siraj election day drinking game was epic. It was so epic that it was banned off of YouTube. Blake by the King Simp says, bring on a guest host tomorrow night. Why would we bring on a guest host? It's literally 2 hosts, me and Jay.
You mean like a guest co-host? Well, I mean,
like
I get what he's saying, because there's going to be multiple of these live hearings and stuff. We could bring a guest on who would want to do it live with us just to get his take on it.
Or her take, you fucking sexist.
Okay, first of all, the best women opinion that I've ever heard is this. This is the best. Honestly, this is the best thing. When you're driving with a woman, the best thing she can do is suggest you parallel park for her. That is the best thing. And it's happened from my own mother, and it's happened from my girlfriend as well. And that's when you know they're smart people.
Not really. Women, smart people. They're not smart.
Yeah, people. I mean, you can't say smart woman because that's an oxymoron.
Laura Master says,
tweet this.
Laura Master says, I mistakenly read your Chiron thing as incest J6 committee hearing. I mean, with the amount of circle jerking that we're seeing happen in Congress right now, it's pretty incestuous.
It really is.
Wouldn't be surprised. So I didn't get banned off of YouTube, but that video itself, because there were so many songs that were copywritten.
They took it down.
It was from election stream to dance party, and I was completely lit. You should have been there, Jay. That was a fun time.
I wish I was.
Okay, so we'll get more into like the J6 stuff. I mean, we obviously know, Jay, that it is for one, the only reason they're holding a J6 committee hearing is because it's your birthday.
Jan 6. Why did you say J?
Birthday? It is literally your birthday, and the fact that they are using your birthday to play politics is both shameful and Islamophobic.
Absolutely. It really is.
Not here for it.
You know what? Inshallah, soon we're going to slowly bring Sharia into the United States, and it's happening here slowly. Do you know now in I think is it in where is it? Is it Minnesota or is it Massachusetts? I don't remember which state, but they allow now in cities in Minnesota. They allow in cities for the call of Islamic prayer to be called on in speakers, like to call Islamic prayer to everybody. And this is how Sharia wins. Slowly. Honestly, but surely.
Base.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to bring more in, because when they hear that, and hopefully when they hear that, they understand women shouldn't have rights.
Oh man. Let's see here. So from that we have so while things were obviously pretty awful in the last couple of weeks, Jay, with respect to things like school shootings and other tragedies such as that, we learned from the FBI that they're absolutely fucking worthless, like the Uvalde Police Department. After many of the U.S. gymnastics team filed a $1 billion lawsuit against the FBI for mishandling of the Larry Nassar investigation. Now, if you're not familiar with the Larry Nassar investigation, basically this the team doctor was convicted on multiple accounts of sexual assault and other horrific acts of sexual misconduct, sentenced to hundreds of years in prison. And basically the FBI was told about this stuff and they did nothing. And that is kind of how we've seen things play out in Uvalde, Texas, where there was obviously, and again, this is our first episode since literally the day after that shooting. So obviously a lot more information has come out. But one of the things that we have obviously discovered is that the police had the power to do something, and then for the longest time they did nothing. And
for about 65 minutes.
Yeah. Obviously horrific. In fact, they were too busy arresting parents of students who were in the school, either in lockdown or were injured or were killed. Parents rushing in to try to save their children. There were a number of parents who literally had to go in because the police wouldn't.
Right.
And I mean, obviously in such tragedies like this, you find a lot of heroes. The really sad aspect of this is that when we think of this particular tragedy and how awful not only the police have been, but also the city council, they've completely closed themselves off from basically anyone from questioning them about the decisions that the police chief has made and whether or not to fire him. And time and time again, I'm reminded that if you really wanted the government to take control over your life, or if you ever hear the argument that we need health, Medicare for all, we need we need the government to take over all of our guns. I just implore you to point them to Uvalde and say, look at what happened. These people had all the guns. They're the ones who are supposed to be fully in control, and they let over a dozen children and die needlessly at the hands of a gunman, and then dozens of others wounded, and decided to handle this in the worst fucking way possible.
Absolutely. It was and it was horrifying what happened in Uvalde. I mean, and it's very sad for the parents that had to experience that day where it happened. But one thing is very, very clear after that is that no, the government is not here to save you. The government is not going to do it better for you than you can do it for yourself. Yep. And it took them, they were there outside the door, and it took them longer than 65 minutes to get in there. They were there. They were right there on the street. Imagine somebody breaks into your home. Imagine. And then you have to call the police. How long is that going to fucking take for them to get there to help save you and your family and everything? And if you want to get rid of all of your guns and somebody walks into your house with a gun, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Literally,
this is not going to do anything to stop those type of people from getting guns. None of the bills that they want to pass, nothing that they're wanting to do or push through is going to do it. Red flag laws. We know how incompetent fucking government is to give them power where they're going to be able to flag people at random wherever they want and just state things for it. That is a mistake in itself. I mean, before when this just happened, I had in the episode, I was talking about maybe we need more like that. Maybe we need this, but that was me after an incident that happened like that. I mean, when you really look into it and when you really think about it and stuff, why would we do that? Why would we give any power like that to the government?
It makes zero sense. And the reason why they want that, I mean, like Jay, look, you and I aren't idiots. I mean, like we are idiots, but like we're at least not dumb enough to realize that the reason why they are doing this, the reason why January 6th is the January 6th committee is happening, the reason why they're pushing for gun control, the reason why they are threatening the lives of Supreme Court justices who say defy them, it's all about control. It's all about control. We have a midterm election coming up in November. They are trying desperately to control the message and the narrative. And when you see stuff happen, obviously these are all data points. All of them are, independent of each other. If you were to connect them by a common thread, almost all of it boils down to controlling the populace and ensuring that they have they can make the decisions over your lives because they feel they know what's best for you.
Yes.
Because they think all of these crises that are happening, they're the only ones who can fix it. Mind you, I remember when Trump said "I alone can fix it," and that scared the shit out of a bunch of liberals in the 2016 election. Do you remember that?
I do.
They used that as basically an impetus to say that Trump was a wannabe fascist and that he was someone who cannot be elected because he thought he himself was the only person who could fix it. Mm-hmm. And when you think about it, it is one of those things, those attacks that they make to say they are guilty. They are guilty of that which they accuse their opponent, in this case, Trump.
Oh, absolutely.
You can see it obviously play out the way it has, because one thing that's really stuck out to me is that despite the fact that every single one of these deaths that took place in Uvalde was obviously a very tragic it was a very tragic story of what took place. But the fact that they've constantly pivoted to gun control. I think we said this before on the last show, Jay. There's not and you said it moments ago, there's not a single law that would stop someone taking a gun into a school and trying to kill as many people indiscriminately as possible. And that's, I think people don't realize that you cannot legislate evil. Evil people will do evil shit, and they don't care what laws are in place. They're going to do their evil shit.
Absolutely. And the funny thing is about this,
murder is illegal. Why are people still getting murdered?
What? Oh my God, no way. Holy shit. Is it illegal? Jesus Christ. That is insane.
Illegal.
Oh my God, neither did I. Okay, my plans for Thursday night are ruined. Fuck. It's illegal. I can't do it. It's not gonna happen. Because and the funny thing is, what do you think is gonna happen? If they magically want to ban all guns, do you know who's gonna get the real end of it? Inner cities, minorities, they're gonna get the real end of it. People who live out in the Goonies, people who live in the suburbs and all that kind of stuff, they're not going to get knocked on the door. They're not the ones who are outside with the guns and all that kind of stuff. They're not the ones who are going to be interacting with the police as much when this happens. And any gun control is fucking racist. And what's really fucking hilarious is a lot of these people are like, put a 30% fucking tax on bullets and stuff. So only rich people and only police can have weapons. This is like new old world order shit. Insane. It's fucking insane. It's insane. And nothing like that would have stopped. And they're so disingenuous when you want to talk about what we can do to help. Like, let's talk together. Let's sit together and talk. Let's talk
let's have a conversation, Jay. Let's have a conversation.
At least, and like, for example, they want to say one entry. So then all of the disingenuous fucks are like, oh, you want to have just one door? One door? What do you think the fire marshal is going to say? No, you fucking moron. There's going to be multiple exits. There's going to be multiple places you can walk out from. But to enter it, you fucking shit face, is that you have to go through one door with a fucking security guard in it. Why the fuck do they have security guards over at the UN? Why do they have the UN is a gun-free zone? The fucking like Congress, the Senate, all this type of stuff, but they have armed guards. Why? It's a gun-free zone. Why do they have armed guards? Why the fuck do you have security going over with like Matthew McConaughey and all and celebrities and fucking all of this type of shit?
Hold on, let's talk about Matthew McConaughey for a second, Jay, because I don't know if you saw him go up in front of the White House press briefing and basically say to make an impassioned plea for more gun control. Again, I don't know what is the tipping point here for anyone. But no, like Matthew McConaughey isn't moving the fucking needle on anything. No celebrity is. None. Like literally, Matthew McConaughey could take his shirt off like us. Okay, I'm not going to do it right now. No, Jay. I mean, in the spirit of Matthew McConaughey, I feel like it's only fair. In the spirit of Matthew McConaughey, the only thing he's moving are these clothes off of our bodies.
That's it. I mean, I'm right here to be shirts off with Matthew McConaughey. I can do it. Me and him. Side by side. And it was really it's great that the Habibis really thought we were going to go through that the whole episode being back, not going shirtless.
Yeah, no, it's not happening. We're literally using Matthew McConaughey to take off our shirts. So you're welcome. So that being said, Jay, what else did we miss this week? What else happened? Or these past 2 weeks? I am looking through the rundown right now. I'm really bad at this. Oh, Hunter Biden's laptop development. Records on Hunter Biden's laptop suggest he took personal data from sister-in-law Haley Biden's devices over a dozen times in 2017 and 2018, according to a former Secret Service agent. The data included messages, calls, and over 120 voices. You know, this is a weird thing, Jay, about everything that happened with, anything under Trump. You know, it's one of those things where, like, they're saying that the White House under Trump was, like, scandal-ridden. And they're going to tell us, obviously, that everything here within the Biden White House, like, he had zero scandals. Dude, look at his fucking son. Like, what was it reported this past week that he was caught with, like, an illegal gun and a hooker?
Illegal gun, a hooker, coke, trying to solicitate businesses over his dad's name to try and get meetings with him and all that kind of shit. Like, every wet dream that they had over trying to get Donald Trump Jr. on, we have on fucking Hunter Biden. And nobody's reporting on it. Nobody's like making a big deal out of it. Nobody's saying shit. It's fucking insane. It's hilarious.
Yeah. And the fact that they constantly tell us one thing is happening when we know it's the opposite is probably the most enraging because, Jay, anyone with two brain cells can see what's going on. Anyone with two brain cells can see that the country's going to shit.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's pretty bad. It really is. And we have a guy who is in the White House that is absolutely deteriorated. His mind is deteriorated.
He's not in control.
He's not there. He's not in control. And a media that is desperate to try and like cover for him and shit. And they just look like fucking dumbasses. They really do. They look fucking dumb as shit.
Son of Whole Horse, thank you for the Rumble. For the super chat. Wow, that wasn't Cheers off Habibis. All right.
All right. And Habibis, we're now in our favorite segment. Well, do you have Earn?
I got
to go grab Earn.
Let me go grab.
As you go get Earn, Habibis, you gear up your questions because we are now going to be starting Ask Us Anything. Well, Habibi. All right, Habibis, go ahead and ask us anything. Katie Hyde over at Rumble. Is it still Hunter's sister-in-law if he ended up marrying her too? Jesus fucking Christ. That guy is absolute fucking garbage. Now, it wasn't that over what's his name? Boo Bow, who died of brain cancer. But Biden likes to keep on bringing up when there are people suffering. Like, it's just fucking insane every time it brings it up. But it's fucking insane. Dan wants pizza. What whiskey we got on tap tonight? Well, Dan, tonight I'm being white as fuck and drinking White Claw.
Yeah, you are.
No whiskey tonight. None.
Let's buddy.
Master Thief telling Siraj, pull your pants.
Nope.
Not going to happen.
Not going to do it.
Keep them down. Fuzzy coming in. Jay, question for you. Will you tell Katie Hyde that Fuzzy says hello? Kate Hyde, please get a restraining order over Fuzzy. I feel for your safety at this point.
Kate Hyde on Rumble says, "Is it still Hunter's sister-in-law if he ended up marrying her too?"
I already asked that question.
Sorry, Jay. I was getting Ernie.
No, I'm just playing with you.
Okay. I mean, you should drag me for that as well. So, yeah. So, Habibis, ask us anything. Ask us your questions. Let's see. Did you get this one?
No, I did not. Go for it.
Dean McCoppin says if Republicans take a majority in Congress after midterms, will Biden be impeached? I think so. I think at this point, it's now just it's no longer a tool. It's no longer like considered like a sacred like process. It'll now be just a political tool. 100%.
I believe it too, and they're the ones who did it. They're just completely started impeaching Trump over nonsense and everything. Like, it's absolutely fucking insane.
President Mitch says, Siraj, thanks for the pointers with my son's Pakistani family. Wait, you're Pakistani, President Mitch? Is that he's saying
with my son's Pakistani family?
Your son married a Pakistani woman? MashaAllah. Takbir.
Allah Akbar.
Takbir.
Allah Akbar.
Takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
President Mitch continues on to say, I ended up coming home with a ruah afza and 2 Tupperwares full of food. You know what ruah afza is, Jay?
I do not. What is it?
It is like basically like a squash drink. It is absolutely disgusting. But don't tell
Pakistanis.
Don't tell Mitch about that.
I will not. I will not tell him or Pakistanis.
President Mitch, that's son's friend's Pakistani family.
Okay. That makes more sense.
I was worried that your son already got, he got introduced to one Pakistani family, and all of a sudden he was married off.
And then we got
lethal.
Go ahead. Jay, question for you. Would you please tell Kate Hyde that Jordan says hello? Hey, Kate, Jordan says hello. Might be a little better than, but even then, just Kate, be careful. These internet people are crazy. Please.
Yeah.
And then we have Suzanne.
I mean, they watch us, and they watch
exactly.
They watch
well, I mean, she watches us too. So I mean, come on. Maybe she's crazy too.
Let's see what else we got. Faye BB says, you want Kamala in charge? Well, we all know, Jay, she'd be better in charge as San Francisco DA than she would be Kessa Bowden.
That's absolutely true.
So.
Absolutely, she would be. Especially because a lot of people need to be thrown in jail. But I need to go take a pee. So
of course you do. Well,
I do.
And Ernie and I will answer your questions.
Yes.
Commander says, is impeachment going to be used against every president going forward? Inshallah, and hopefully we'll get to like the 69th impeachment. That'd be very good. Rory says, what do you think the reasoning will be given for impeachment? I think they could come up with any reason, really. That's what they did for. For Trump. The first one, they said obstruction of Congress. That's what they charged them with. Obstruction of Congress. I don't know if you could really that's not even like a crime in real life. You don't get charged for obstruction of Congress. You get charged for lying to Congress, or obstruction of justice, but he wasn't charged with obstruction of justice. So they literally could find any reason whatsoever to basically charge him. Jay isn't coming back. Let's get this zoomed out. Oh, Ernie. Oh, there we go. And now we're all fuzzy. Let's see. Sandra Matthews says, did you hear the Dems are spending $1 million on the Republican Senate candidate so the weaker candidate will win? So Bennett will win the Senate again. Also on governor's race, so Polis will win again. Gag. Oh, I'm not really too familiar with the Colorado Senate race, but it seems to be a common theme, Jay, that Republicans are trying to take over the party again, especially the establishment of Republicans are trying to take over the party by backing as many libs as they possibly can. So I don't know. Orvo says, when Republicans take the House in November, should they hold June 8th hearings to target the enablers of the Brett Kavanaugh assassin? That's an interesting question, Jay.
That is, and I think they should, and I think they should. I mean, everything is just off the table now. They wanted to hold Trump accountable for January 6th. They want to hold Republicans accountable for rhetoric on that kind of stuff. Then yes, absolutely do it. Fuck it. If we want to put rhetoric on the table from politicians, this is what we should do.
Words are violence, Jay. Imagine
Done deal.
The fuck they can say about leaking a SCOTUS opinion.
Mm-hmm. Done deal. I mean, it's fucking insane the way that they want to go. I mean, politicians claim and say outrageous shit all the fucking time. So we want to hold them all accountable for it. We're going to hold all of them accountable for it. Yeah. Done.
Son of Bull Horse says, do you guys think the New York Times will fall apart after WAPO, and will you take on Jen Rubin when she's free? We hope Jen Rubin will join the Habibi ilk because she is our queen. And as always, Jay, please come on HPH, Jen Rubin, please. If you will come on both of us, either together or individually, we would be most grateful. Please come on us. Mostly come. On me, of course. Back to your questions. Let's see here. I'm not even going to acknowledge Blake's comments about the Celtics because he wants to completely jinx that squad. Dan Wants Pizza says, question for Siraj. Can you tell Kate Hyde that I said hello? Kate Hyde, Dan Wants Pizza says hello and wants you to notice him. Ernie, what do you want? Ernie, what's up? You want?
Are basketball games really that fun to watch?
Yes.
Should I turn this one on? The Celtics are right now winning 64-51. And it's the second half. Should I watch? I'll watch this later. But I do need to. I need to go and get some food.
Okay, then we'll cap it here, Habibis. Polio says, "Hey boys, I'm neither bipolar nor bisexual, but could you tell Kate how to settle?" We will.
Shit, we will. We will.
So, Habibis, if you really want to support us, go ahead and sign up to our locals community where you can engage with us all the time, and you don't really have, honestly, less of a chance of getting banned on there.
Yes.
If you use the code JenRubin69, you get 1 month free trial to our locals community. It's been 69 minutes on the stream, so we are going to leave right here. Go Celtics. For the Habibi Bros, I'm Siraj Hashmi.
I'm Jay Kobbe.
And we'll see you next time. Actually, Jay, we'll see you tomorrow night for
Yes.
the J6 committee hearings. 8 p.m. East on the nicest day of the year, 6/9. Pizza Habibis. Mess with Emma.